The bears, the bulls, and everyone else is right now in the market when the market is bouncing back up. We literally see that the market is bouncing. We came back to the moving average. This is the altcoin market cap, and you can see we came back to the moving average on a daily. We are bouncing. So from September, we've been respecting that and we've been moving like that. And if you look at this entire cycle, when you are trending higher, you have one thing in common. You go up, you come back to the moving average. Here in this case, that's the 50-day moving average. You go back up, you come back, test the moving average 50-day, and then go back up. So on a daily chart, when you see the price coming back to retest the 50-day moving average and getting a wick bouncing, that's positive. Now again, this time you are getting that with price action bullishness. What do I mean by that? You look at this, you got a red candle coming down, great, and then you just had a bullish candle, which is engulfing candle, which just engulfed the previous one completely, and the next one started bullishly. So now that's actually clearly what we wanted to see. Now on a weekly, yes, we see a lot of volatility here. We were anticipating this volatility. Now we know that this cycle has been crazy, and believe me, from here we are going to see a ton of craziness. Because if you are looking at the current run up and saying, okay, that's it, the market cycle is done, you may be wrong. Because we are looking for something way better than that. We do have a lot of upside. From here, as we break higher, you can anticipate a 80 to 100x in this cycle. Now, don't get me wrong, that really is going to happen. Now, the question is, in this asset class with 15,000 assets, how many of them are going to complete that run? I don't know, you don't know, no one knows. But the chances are, you can focus on it and say, okay, that is a possibility that this particular asset is going to do well. So that's when we come to XRP. On a monthly chart of XRP, this is what you see. You saw that we consolidated 1,277 days. We had that run up and all. Great. But, people, when they say, I lost money after investing in XRP, mostly they bought the tops. Now, that's the case with almost every other asset. Let it be the commodities, let it be real estate, let it be any asset which you are trying to make money on. You're buying the top, and if you're not patient enough, you're going to lose money. Because if you are looking at this, there is a huge difference in the level of patience required. Say here, if you bought the top here and you were patient enough for 1,277 days, you are making 6 times that money. Great. But if you had a little bit more, that's another year, you made 60x. So that's 10 times that. So you waited 4 years, you made 6x. Then you waited an additional year and you made 60x. So you see the difference there. By the last moment, XRP blasts off. Now, when people say, the run up for XRP in this cycle is over, look at the RSI. Do you see the RSI going into the oversold territory, getting into that and then coming back overbought? No, we didn't do that. We didn't even go there. We came back. We didn't go much lower. Buyers, sellers, they were fighting. We pushed it up. So right now, what we want is the RSI to get into the oversold territory. Then push up. But chances are we won't go there. Why? As we follow the trend line of the monthly RSI, we do see this. We are following a trend line, we are rising to the upside. So we may not go to the downside. Chances are high that we would bounce from here and we go into an overbought territory. And that's what we want. Because if that's happening, this is what you're anticipating, the big wave of money flowing in and the price action. Now, this market is so interesting. If you are following this market, you'll actually see different stuff. You definitely need to look at these and understand, fine, okay, if that's happening, what will happen to my portfolio? What will happen to your portfolio? Okay, if this is the case with Bitcoin, what should I look forward to? because this is a market with a lot of eventful days, and if you miss some of those, it's not going to be great, because as we discussed previously, things are rolling as expected. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. This is an eventful market with a lot of asset moving higher, giving opportunities to get in, take the money in and all. You look at the first 100 and you see Gala performing well, VAX, Harmony, Zcash, a lot of other coins including Elrond doing well. Now, if we look at all of these, say especially for Gala, this is some of them we discussed previously for Gala, back then when the price was really lower and the price was breaking higher. I highlighted this. You see the volume, that's huge. You see the breakout in the RSI, MACD bouncing, the indicator turning bullish and the target being higher. So now we already hit those, right? Then as we move further, we are looking at the next one. What's happening next? What's the possibility? So as you continue higher with the recent breakout, that was when I was highlighting, okay, this is happening. Look at the RSI, it's getting into the overbought territory, and that's when most of the price action, the blast happens, right? So I was saying the resistance. Now we are pumping. You go look at Gala, you'll understand that. Then here on AVAX, if you're looking at that, we'll see we were following the price when it was like $16. We were saying these are the targets, move into it, and as we continued higher, we looked at different scenarios, breakouts. Now we already hit that target recently. Now we do have some targets about this, and we are going to hit those in next phase of this markup, because we understood that this is what's happening in the market. When people had the doubts, I was highlighting this is the scenario. Don't be doubtful if you are in this asset. Similarly, in Elrond, now you have a lot of different assets in this asset class, and you do have to understand you have opportunity. In an asset class with tons of assets, you have to go look at other assets. If you are trading, investing, whatever, if you have a little bit diversification, that may help you. So if you want that, you can definitely look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. Now, if you're a completely XRP guy, you don't have to, because for XRP, whatever I think, I deliver it here. Those who are learning on a regular basis do understand we have a lot of upside. Those who study the price action, the patterns, do understand we have a lot of upside. But those who don't study the patience will have hard time going through this stuff. Previously, we talked about this on a monthly candle, saying, we are going to have a red candle. We had this. Chances are high that we are going to follow something similar. Now, we had a red candle. Followed by that, we had a green candle right now. So what we anticipate in next 10 days is the price should move higher and make this as a green candle. That's an expected and a favorable scenario. So if that's happening, that's great, that's cool. Now that's what we all want. Then you zoom in, you see this in the XRP chart. There's a 3-day XRP chart, and as you see, you have a rounded bottom there. Now you're consolidating above your support. We have been above that for some time. If you look at this range is acting as a support resistance from some time here. It was a support, then it acted as a resistance. We broke above, now it's a support zone. So we are trending inside that, we are moving higher. Now that's a 3-day chart. So if you take a step back, look at the weekly, you literally have a trend line where you're moving to the upside. So if people say, I bought XRP and I lost money, great. Why do these kind of stuff come up? It's just easy. You go chase the green candles rather than chasing the red candles. You go buy the tops, then the price come back down. You buy the top here, you lost money. You buy the top here, you lost money. Same here. Whereas if you're buying near the support and if you have a little bit of patience, you make money all the time. So this is not that hard, but patience is hard. You bought here and you waited for a couple of days and say, this is not giving you profit. That's not how this works. So as an investor, if you're entering this market, right now look at the price. This is a trend line support, and where is the price now? So most of them who buy here usually make profit by $1.4 if that's the resistance and we are being kicked back down. But that is the market. That's how it works. But on a longer scenario, this is what you have to understand. This is XRP to BTC on a weekly. And on a weekly, this is what you see. Those who bought at this top literally had to wait and average down. Then they got a possibility to make 20x. So they had like 400 days downside consolidation to the move to the next top. Now next one here is this 800 days. But the difference is here instead of 20 it's 60x. So at first it was 400 days, then it turned to 800 days, but the ROI just went sky high. Right now, if you look at that, we are like 1,400 days. Wow. So what would be the upside here? If we are blasting up, what's the upside? It's going to be way higher than what we saw previously. So last one was 60x, and ask yourself what we are going to do when the Bitcoin dominance is going to go down and XRP BTC pairs to pump. That usually gives way more in XRP USD pair. That's what we can understand here. The BTC dominance is reaching a resistance on a weekly. So probability based on the chart says we are going to go to the downside. Look at the RSI, look at the MACD, all of them suggesting we are near the resistance. And chances are high that if we don't break higher, we are going to go back down to this bottom. And that's towards 2022. Great. So meantime, we're going to see a lot of altcoins pumping. We're going to see a great December. We're going to see mostly first half of Jan exceptionally pumping, crazy euphoric actions at the top of wave 2. So when you see those, understand, this is not the bottom, this is not the top. We are on our way to the skies. I'm not a BTC maxi, but I can clearly say that this was a resistance previously. Right now, it is acting as a support. So we are going to bounce from here and we are going to go to 78, 85, 90, that region, and then get a little bit of correction after that. Now, that's healthy. That's how the healthy market works. You go high, people take profit, you correct back down. A lot of other new people come in and they buy and then it goes up. Right? That's how it works. So when you come to Bitcoin USD on a daily, again, this is what you see. The price action is interesting. You come back to the horizontal trend line support and you bounce. That's great. So if you can manage to go above 60, you are getting this as support and you're bouncing. That's bullish. We are continuing higher. Now, when the price action is turning bullish, the market is going high, you see a lot of price action. Then you come and see like, okay, there are coins which fluctuate a lot. There are coins which have a lot of liquidity and provide you with safety. You do have to understand the volume in XRP is also increasing. Because when people compare it with XLM, yes, it's a good asset, but we have 10 times the volume. Now, you look at the price fluctuation, yes, it's also looking great from that 24th range. As it pumps, it's going to come back up. So, you are like increasing volume on a regular basis. For these assets where people see that's going to be strong for next 3 months. So as you move into those, you do have to understand fundamentals are also evolving. In my Twitter handle, I was looking through a lot of different stuff and I was retweeting those, understanding this. One of them from Peter Vass is actually this. XRP is now strong. Why? Because the people who work behind the project of RippleNet is now extending. We've talked about this. When the price of something goes down, at the same time, all the other parameters goes up, performance skyrocketing. What do? You accumulate. Now that's a value investor. Now then, this from Ashish Birla, showing, things are happening and it's not like an odd day where the developers are not doing anything, there is no adoption and all. You see this worldwide. Now Gold Telegraph highlights this one, which you have to understand. There has been manipulation in the gold silver market. So my question is, do you definitely believe there is no manipulation in the crypto market? You have to understand that. If gold, silver and all with such a huge history and market cap is being manipulated by these traders, why won't they do that in the crypto market? So most of the assets with a lot of liquidity is going to see that. And here, one of the interesting stuff which I retweeted from Real Vision is that Raul is actually highlighting that we are going to have a great November, December, in which some of those coins are going to go crazy. Now say you see 1000x, but mostly you're happy with 100x. So the question is, do you really want that 1000x? Because if you're trying to get that, mostly you'll have to go into a riskier coin. That's the difference. If you are getting, the average market is going to do, say for example, 85x as we just saw in the charts. So if we can get 80 to 100x, that's enormous in my opinion. Now if you can get more than that, that's great. But balancing the risk and getting that 80x through the assets with liquidity and easy readable charts is what we want. And that's what we try to usually do. So as you see stuff's happening, there are positive and negatives. This one precisely is a little bit negative. So rather than going to a bank and getting this for your family, you can actually come to crypto market and make life-changing wealth. Now, if you have, now no offense with Ether guys, but this is true. You try to move your funds from one to another and you see this. Rather you buy XRP there, you move it and sell it and then buy your asset. That's even cheaper than using, some others. Now, if you are a guy, I don't have time, I don't want to put more efforts, you still do Tron, you still do Solana, right? So why do you use Ether? And it's still huge. So understand, when the market digests all this, the market cap is going to shift. The money is going to move into the alts. So now you're looking for Ether to move up, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000, great. But at one point, just moving their profit, they would be burning themselves. $10,000 profit, $1,000 moved in gas fee, great. So people are going to definitely move into different altcoins where they see utility. That's why we say utility is there and the fundamentals are getting stronger each day. Because we just saw this and I'm like, okay, that's exceptionally great. Now these guys understand that. Now, that's why I showed you silver chart, silver stuff previously. If JP Morgan is definitely manipulating that, they understand this one. Why don't they do it? And that's what the question is. So if you are in this asset, you need to be extremely patient. If you don't have that level of patience to go through it and accumulate it until it blasts off, it may have bad things for you. You see other assets pumping and you're moving out, it's fine. But do you really want to stay here and accumulate before this one pumps, or do you want to move into another asset? That's completely up to you. But that is the thought process which I really want to share with you guys today. So again, if you want charts and updates for assets, where you see breakouts, where you see trend lines, where you see opportunities, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. So guys, if you received value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button. That supports the channel a lot. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.